Boys, girls, babes, welcome back to the Jenaya Talks Caps podcast funeral for the Washington Capitals 2025-2026 season. For all intents and purposes, they are not exactly mathematically dead yet, but I think we can probably call time of death here, right? So yeah, welcome back, babes. We're here for you. This is a Capitals fans therapy session in session right now. So yeah, I mean, what can you say? Thank you for joining us. Share us around if you have any friends, family members, fellow Washington Capitals fans who could use a pick-me-up right now. We're all going to talk about it here. We're all going to make our feelings heard. And yeah, just chat about it together, work our way through this, and just work through these emotions right now from, I mean, where do we, like, honestly, where do we, first of all, Sunny, let's just start with, how are you feeling after that debacle last night? I mean, like, should we just, honestly, like, should we just scream into our mics for an hour straight here, or what? Like, what is this going to be? Because we did get one piece of good news out of the Washington Capitals organization today, so we will get to that later. But I think that we have to start with that game against the New York Rangers yesterday at Madison Square Garden. So I think that's where we've got to start. Sunny, just let everyone know, like, what are your feelings on what happened last night, what you witnessed? Yeah, debacle, I think, is a good word for it, right? Like, it was just a clown show out there for the Washington Capitals against the Rangers.
Well, I'll tell you this. I had a feeling, and not to be negative, but they do this thing all the time where they win up all these games, and they're like, I got you on the ropes, man. We're going to do it. And then they do what they did the other day against the Rangers. And, you know, they did this with the Devils, too, because we thought, hey, it's the Devils. You know, we're pretty good against the Devils. This game is, you know, good in hand. And Thompson was in net. No, we didn't win that game. Then we went on and, you know, beat the Sabres again. Might I add, again, because we just versed them just recently, you know, a couple weeks back.
They beat a lot of good teams, Sunny. They beat a lot of good teams. They beat no bad teams.
Keep in mind, New York Rangers, as we all know, have not won many home games. And that game, we should have had in the bag. Yeah, Shesterkin. But considering the fact that that team is a train wreck, we decided to be the train wrecks instead of them. You know what I mean? We just like, hey, you know what?
I think you just hit the nail on the head there for what was especially frustrating about this game was that the New York Rangers are a train wreck, and they're especially a train wreck at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They've been horrendous inside of MSG this season. So
their
for the
fans
Washington,
have been booing them all season.
Booed off the ice all year long at Madison Square Garden have been the New York Rangers. And they looked like the Harlem fucking Globetrotters last night against the Washington Capitals. I cannot explain it. I have no words for it. We're going to try to explain it here as much as possible. But I think, like, it really cannot be explained. Like, there was no reason for that performance last night. I mean, the Capitals, they were on the second half of a back-to-back, so I'll give them that. But the New York Rangers, they were on a back-to-back as well. Now, albeit they played their game the prior day much earlier on in the day. They had a 12:30 p.m. start time, I believe, on Saturday. So they got quite a bit more rest, you know, time in between games than the Caps did. But, like, that's not enough of an excuse at this stage of the season. The New York Rangers, who are playing for nothing, they actually should be playing to lose if they were smart. You know, trying to get a better draft position, potentially move up and snag someone like Gavin McKenna, right? So they had no reason to be out there, you know, winning that game. The Washington
essentially just to fuck us.
Yeah, the Washington Capitals had every reason to be out there trying to win that game, and this is what we get. It's unbelievable. I don't know. What are kind of give me, like, maybe your top three takeaways from that game, from what you saw? Because for those who didn't catch the game, 8-1 loss. Okay, 8-1. It was a touchdown plus the 2-point conversion for the New York Rangers, who have barely scored a fucking goal at Madison Square Garden all season. So here we are. Sunny, please, what were your, I guess, top 3 takeaways from this complete shit show yesterday?
Too many defensive breakdowns. I feel like we were okay in the first in terms of actually we weren't really that okay in the first. I think we just skied by because when the game started, you could tell that okay, we're gonna do this thing, and I could tell it was gonna be one of those games, and I didn't know it was gonna be this retarded of a score. But keep in mind, it was just 1-0, and I knew it. I knew it because they had all these chances to bury that goal, and it didn't go in for us. And then a few minutes later, I don't know how long it was, but they scored the first goal. Of course they scored the first goal, right? That's how it goes. And then they did what they do best, and they're scored and tied it. And then you could see in the team that they had all the juice. Oh, yeah, we tied it. Oh, yeah, man, let's go. Let's go. Everybody's pumped up on the goddamn bench.
Beautiful goal, by the way. By
100%.
Connor McMichael on the breakaway. Beautiful pass. Yeah. Beautiful pass by Tom Wilson.
It had Carlson effects. Remember when Carlson used to?
It was a Carlson-esque pass, yeah. Beautiful pass by Tom Wilson. Springs Connor McMichael on the breakaway. Beautiful finish by McMichael. Beautiful goal all around. Great goal. And we were pumped watching it.
I know.
We were pumped.
So I'm just wondering, and keep in mind, the second period has been a shit show for us this year. So I was just I'm not going to hold my breath, but I feel like this is going to be a game where we're just going to let it I just had a feeling. And I remember we talked about it because you're like, no, they're going to win this game. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they're not. And not to be negative, but I just feel like they do this thing, like I said at the beginning of this, just as we just aired, they do this thing where they hold you. We're we're going to do it, man. We're going to, we're going to get it done. And then they don't. And then it was funny because I was walking my dog and I know the score was tied and then it became 2-1. And you know what was funny? Because I compared it to the other game and I can't remember who we were versing when we were won 5-1 or something or 5. I can't remember who we just versed that we just ended up winning 5-1 against or 5-2 or whatever it was. But typically when you see a 2-1 score for the Caps, it's always goes, the other team gets another goal to go up 3-1. In that other game, it ended up happening where they ended up actually scoring 5 goals, so we never went down. This game, I had a feeling in my heart, that they were going to go down 3-1. I opened the app up and boom, 3-1. And it gets worse. Then literally a few minutes later, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1 in the second period. Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, oh my God. And then after that, I'm just like, fuck it. It's over. It's done.
So I'll just run through the scoring here for anyone who missed this game, and if you did miss this game,
going in, by the way. So
we'll get to the comments for sure. I put up the thing here. Drop us your comments, so we're gonna get to those for sure. Like I said, this is a therapy session here for Washington Capitals fans. So you all get your comments in, vent your frustrations. Let us know your thoughts. We're going to read them all, or as many as we can, at least out loud on air here during this stream. For anyone who missed this game, I'll just go through the scoring here. And by the way, if you did miss this game, good for you. Good for you.
You didn't
seriously.
miss anything.
Good
aside
for
from
you.
Ovechkin's pissed off face on the bench.
He was not a happy camper, no. The scoring in this one. So first period, like we alluded to there, our old friend Connor Sheary, he gets the first goal of the game 23 seconds in on I believe it was technically the second shot of the game because Lindgren, I think, got a piece of the initial shot and then it was the rebound that got him. So technically it was the second shot of the game, but it was the first play of the game essentially that Charlie Lindgren gets beat on. Obviously Logan Thompson, he had started 10 straight games before this. Charlie Lindgren gets in for one here, and needless to say, it did not go well. Let's just say that. Connor Sheary, first goal of the game, 23 seconds in, 1-0 Rangers. Connor McMichael, like we mentioned, beautiful goal on the breakaway, assisted by Tom Wilson on the primary assist, Martin Ferravari on the secondary assist. That tied it up 1-1, still in the first period. And we mentioned it. We were pumped with this goal. I was like, fucking A, here we go. Because they've been playing really well, honestly, recently. Like, other than the game against the Devils, which was questionable at best, some really questionable defense. They scored enough goals, I thought, to win that game. But yeah, the defense was just atrocious. But other than that, like, they've generally been playing pretty well. They've been playing pretty good hockey since the Olympic break or since the trade deadline, for sure, right? So we were pumped up. Connor McMichael ties it. That's how the first period would end, 1-1. Second period, I mean, the Caps, they started the second period on a penalty kill, right? They kill that one off. And then they immediately take another penalty for puck over glass again. And so it's back-to-back penalty kills, and they almost killed off the second of these back-to-back penalties as well. They almost got it done right at the end of the Rangers power play. JT Miller gets the tuck. And like, what, you're letting JT fucking Miller score on you in the year 2026, honestly. So power play goal for the New York Rangers, that makes it 2-1. And then it was pretty much a meltdown, like you said, after that. Like, it was Will Cooley, 3-1, Will Cooley again, 4-1, Adam Sikora, 5-1, Adam Fox, 6-1. So a pair of Adams there. So yeah, 6-1 at the end of the second period. Another one of those goals as well. The sixth goal, the Adam Fox goal, was again on the power play for the Rangers. So 6-1 at the end of the second period. They left Charlie Lindgren in for this entire game, given the fact that they had played the day before as well, right? And Logan Thompson, like we said, he had started 10 straight games. He's probably pretty exhausted. So yeah, they kept Charlie Lindgren in for the extent of this one. And in the third period, Vincent Trocheck, 7-1. Will Cooley again for the hat trick. First career hat trick for him, makes it 8-1. And that hat trick goal came with like 32 seconds left in the game to make it 8-1. So just kind of twisting the knife there were the Rangers against the Caps. And yeah, I mean, it's where do we want to, maybe let's get to some comments and then we'll get to kind of like the nitty gritty of this game, because obviously there was a lot more going on than just the scoring plays, right? So we'll get into this. So let's just pull up some comments here. Let's see. We'll start at the top here. I honestly love this first comment here. Mojo Rider, one of my absolute favorite subscribers, huge supporter of the show and of the YouTube channel in general. Mojo Rider says, "It's not the disappointment; it's the hope that will kill you." 100% agree with that. And then goes on to say as well, Jekyll and Hyde season all year long. Ugh, never know which team will show up. I think, I think that's honestly the best way of putting it. Jekyll and Hyde, evil twin, good twin. I don't know what you want to call it. Like, it's just, it's too completely.
Which version of Dylan Strome are we going to get today?
It's the whole team, though, Sunny. It's like, it's.
I know.
There's been a few guys who have been consistent all season. Logan Thompson, for sure, being, at the forefront of that. But like, for the most part, most of this team has been just completely up and down all season long. And when they're good, they're so good. And when they're bad, they're so bad. And we saw, like, this past week of games was a perfect microcosm of that. As you had won 3 straight games against some good teams, right? You beat the Utah Mammoth in a huge game for the Caps. That goes on to henceforth be known as the Tom Wilson game, the Tom Wilson show in Utah there. So they beat the Utah Mammoth. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights. That's a pretty good team. And then they beat the Philadelphia Flyers, who they were at the time like directly chasing in that race for a wild card spot. Yeah, so they beat the Philadelphia Flyers. So they had won 3 straight. Then they drop a stinker in New Jersey to the Devils against, what you would this season anyway call an inferior opponent. Devils haven't been good really all season. They have been playing a lot better recently, but in general, over the course of the 82 game season, they haven't been good. So you lose a stinker to the Devils there. Then everyone thinks you're done and dead. And you come back the very next game and you just kick the absolute shit out of the Buffalo Sabres, who have been one of the best teams in the league this season. 6-2 touchdown there for the Caps. So yeah, you just completely beat up on the Sabres. They pull us back in, right? We're back in. We're ready to go. We're like, oh my God, They might actually do this. They were 1 point out of a playoff spot after that win against the Buffalo Sabres. Everyone's all excited. 24 hours later, you drop this absolute stinker to the New York Rangers. So it's, I think Jekyll and Hyde is honestly the best way of putting it. It's been that way all season. They have beaten a lot of very good teams this season. They've won a lot of games against a lot of top teams, and they have handily beaten a lot of these top teams. They seem to always show up and play very well against the top teams in the league. And then they seem to always sleep through these games against these bottom feeder teams. So I don't know. It's Mojo Rider's got another one here. I hate, and I mean hate, hearing their damn goal song too. Had to endure 8 times they sang it. I know that was honestly one of the worst parts, because I hate their goal song too, just because I'm not a fan, obviously, of the New York Rangers, and so it was just to hear it 8 times in one day. It was a little bit much. Let's see here. Rips Hockey says, yep, game was a complete train wreck. I really don't know what else to say. Just awful. Yeah, it's honestly hard to come on here right now and even talk about this game, because it's just like, what do you say? What do you say, Sunny? Like, it's, I don't know.
I gotta say, the one thing is, like, I mean, there's not one thing, but just like people complaining about certain things, and just like, I don't know how you can fathom look at that game and be like, oh, we need to fire the coach. I'm like, that game was literally nothing to do with coaching.
I want to say something
Like,
on
I don't
that too,
understand
because
what people have their thing about Spencer Carberry. Like, as far as I'm concerned, he does have command of the room. I don't know what
he definitely does. We've seen it.
I don't know what people are talking about, but I was just like, you do not have any, like, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I'm just like, if he didn't have control of the room, we would have, even with, like, that's like, he had control of the room, even like, what is he supposed to do with all these injuries? Like, what do you want him to do? He's not getting people called up from the AHL, like Hershey Bear. Like, what do you want him to do with
until today? We'll get to that later, but until today,
saying, so,
4 games left in the season, and we get to see Ilya Protas finally. So we'll get to that later in the show.
Like, this game was all on the guys. Okay, all on the guys, and I'm not just talking about the goaltender. All the guys.
Yeah, and I want to speak on this a little bit too, because I did get into it a little bit in one of the Capitals group chats. I'm not even remembering which one it was last night. Otherwise, I would shout it out right now. But I'm in so many different group chats for this team. But in one of the group chats last night, I got into it a little bit with people regarding the coaching, or specifically regarding Spencer Carberry, just because, like, I get that people always want a scapegoat to blame things on, but like this guy, he was the coach of the year in the National Hockey League last season. Jack Adams Award winner last season. He's been coach of the year at every level he has coached at. ECHL, AHL, NHL. He's, I believe, the only coach to ever do that, to win coach of the year at all 3 of those levels, ECHL, AHL, and NHL. He's a fantastic coach. As with any coach, like, you're always going to have, and this is what I think people don't sometimes understand, is like, coaches in the National Hockey League, or in any sport really, they're like politicians, right? Like, you're always going to disagree with something that they do. There's no perfect politician. There's no perfect head coach in the National Hockey League. Like, you're always going to disagree with something that they do. And so, do I disagree with certain things that Spencer Carberry does? Yes, I do. I disagree with some of his lineup decisions sometimes. I disagree with some of his player deployments sometimes. Certainly, like, I've spoken on that many times before. So I definitely disagree with some of the things that he does, but I think that generally he is a very, very, very good head coach, and we are very lucky to have him. And the reason why I got into it in the group chat last night was because a lot of people were kind of saying, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, obviously, and I'm not saying that my opinion is the right one. I'm just saying this is my opinion. But a lot of people were saying that essentially, like, for the Caps to come out in this game against the Rangers and lose 8-1 in what was a really big game for them, a lot of people wanted to put it on Spencer Carberry, saying, like, his team is not ready to play, and they're not ready to play in a lot of these games. And my pushback on that was simply, like, that works and that makes sense if you're talking about, like, minor hockey with kids, right? Or like any level of unprofessional hockey. These are grown-ass men out there. They are millionaires. They are millionaires. They are paid millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars every single season to play this sport and play it well. I am pretty sure that they all know, all 23 of them on the roster know what time that the game starts at. I'm pretty sure that they know that. And if you need Spencer Carberry to come in and tell you what time the game starts at, maybe you should not be a professional hockey player. My God. Like, that's not, I don't understand that argument in the NHL, where it is professional players who are paid millions to play this game and to know what time the game starts at, what time the puck drops at. Like, you shouldn't have to tell them to be ready for the biggest game of their season. And my argument is that if Spencer Carberry has to tell them that, then a lot of these guys I don't want on the team. Get out of here. Because how are you not ready to play that game? Like, that argument, like I said, to me, that makes sense. Like, that the coach should have the team ready to play. That makes sense to me in lower levels of hockey, minor hockey, kids, not millionaires, Sunny, who have been playing this game their entire lives at the highest level. Like, it makes sense to me.
And I feel like people are like, oh, well, last year doesn't matter. He won the Jack, and we're talking about this year. I'm like, it's the same coach. It's the same, similar, different systems because, like, again, keep in mind the injuries. Like, keep in mind, like, he only has whatever he's got to work with. So if nobody else is bringing anything into the mix, like, what the hell is he going to do every different game? Like, he's missing centers. He's missing other people. What do you want him to do?
Yeah, a lot of this season, and you know this because I've told you this, and I've spoken about it on here as well. A lot of this season, I put on the general manager, not on the coach, because what you just said, like, they don't have injuries, or a lot of injuries anyway. They don't have a lot of injuries right now at this current moment in time, but they did all season long, and that's why they were behind in the standings, and that's why now we have to freak out every time that we lose one game, because we were essentially put in a position where we had to win every game down the stretch here. And they were in that position because they didn't gather enough standings points earlier on in the season, because they did have all of these really, really, really big injuries that affected them a lot. Pierre-Luc Dubois obviously being the biggest one. He missed almost the entire season. He's a top 6 center. He's a shutdown center.
He's made.
Yeah, their record since he came back is way, way better. And he's leading the team in almost every category since he came back. So that was a big injury. They missed Tom Wilson for periods of time. They missed Aliaksei Protas for periods of time. They missed Ryan Leonard for a month. Like, they had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of shit going on this season. So to me, injuries are kind of something that just happens, and sometimes it's not your year and there's nothing that you can really do about it. I do think that was the case for the Caps this season. Like, they just had a lot of shit go wrong. But at the same time, I do put some blame on the general manager, who has been saying for 2 fucking years now that he needs to add scoring talent, and he's added nothing. Like, okay, Justin Sordoff trade. Great. That's a great trade. Great trade. I love Justin Sordoff. Awesome trade. You can't rest on your laurels from that trade for like your entire tenure here. Like, that's not enough in 2 years. You know what I mean? Great trade. I give him full marks for that trade. It's one trade. Like, what did he do at the deadline here? Like, everyone's acting all surprised that we're in this position now. It's like you literally traded away your franchise defenseman, who was one of the top scoring players on this team. Lighting it up in Anaheim, by the way, is John Carlson. And so I get it if you wanted to look towards the future and you wanted to add a first-round pick. And like, we've talked about that trade. And if that's what you're trying to do, that's fine. But it seems like they don't know if that was what they were trying to do or not. Like, they haven't picked a lane and stuck with it. They're buying and selling at the same time. But the problem is that what they're selling is John Carlson, a top defenseman still in this league, and Nick Dowd, a very good shutdown center. And what they're buying is 2 healthy scratches in Timothy Liljegren and David Kampf. So Chris Patrick, I put a lot of blame on him, honestly, because like I said, people are now acting surprised that this is where we are. It's like, what did we really expect to happen after trade deadline, where you sold off one of your best players and another, very important role player on this team in John Carlson and Nick Dowd, and you added fucking Timothy Liljegren and David Kampf, neither of whom are playing on a nightly basis for this team. Like, what did we really expect? He didn't add anything at the deadline, and now we're probably going to miss the playoffs by what, 2 points, 4 points, maybe?
I love how you mention every time. You're like, 4 points versus the Canucks.
4 points versus the Canucks earlier in the season. I hate that. But I'm just saying, like, coming down the stretch run here, Like, I wonder if we would have had those 2 more points if we still had John Carlson. Do you know what I mean? And so hindsight is 2020. Like I said, the trade makes some sense to me if you were looking toward the future and just wanted to add, a first round pick and another pick and whatever. But to me, the problem is that Chris Patrick seems stuck in which way he wants to go. He's selling, he's buying, he's trying to do both at the same time. You can't do both of those things at the same time and expect to have any real success. And then when we talk about, like I said, he's been talking for, 2 years now about needing to add scoring talent to this team, and he hasn't added any of that. So I don't know. I don't put, honestly, I'll just say honestly, I don't put a lot of blame on Spencer Carberry for what this team has looked like this season, because I don't think that I frankly think he's done pretty well with what he has been given to work with. I'll just say that. I think that for the roster that he's been given and the injuries that he's dealt with, the fact that they were still, in the running here at the very end of the regular season to at least contend for a playoff spot and try to get in, they had a real chance at it. That to me was a pretty good job based on the injuries that they had throughout the season. Like I said, you can find fault with any coach and you can nitpick certain things. And there are certain things about him, that drive me nuts too, for sure. Like I said, there's some lineup decision things each night or every second night or whatever. There are some player, deployment things of his, his tendencies that I don't really like or agree with. But I think generally overall, is
I think he just disappeared for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. Generally overall, I think that he's a very good coach, and I think that he's done pretty well with this roster for what he has been given with this roster. I put a lot more blame on the general manager in Chris Patrick for not giving him enough to work with and not adding really anything essentially over the last 2 seasons, and basically just subtracting John Carlson's 60 points or whatever it is. So,
and crossing his fingers on when Lapierre is going to show up. That's nice that Lapierre showed up in the last couple of games, but where the fuck was he at the beginning of the year? Would have been nice to woo.
You just talk here. I'm just going to check on YouTube if we're still connected.
Yeah. Yeah, just like you said, what's wrong with bringing up some guys just to try them out, especially when you have people missing from the lineup like we did this whole season. Why not throw in a couple of guys just for some games and throw them back down to Hershey? You were losing games anyways. What would have hurt just for the mix-up, especially missing a center? Missing that center for the majority of our season, literally, in part, was more than 50% of the reason why we're not, easily. We were easily in the standings in top 3 Metro beginning of the year, mid just before the, I guess just beginning of the year. But I think we would have maintained our spot within maybe even in the 3rd spot or even wild card with at least replacing our center that was injured with somebody useful. And I think you mentioned Protas is a center, correct?
Ilya? Yes. Yeah. He's been playing center down with the Hershey Bears.
So why not bring him up while Dubois was injured? You know what I mean? Like you said, it goes back to the general manager, but it's just it's frustrating.
Yeah, he's finally called up here now with 4 games to go.
When the season is over.
Great.
That's my point.
That's going to make a really big difference there with 4 games to go after we've already essentially blown it. So I'll just get back to some of these comments here because there's a lot coming in.
Sure.
You guys let us know, by the way, if the stream did disconnect there, if it's still gone, because it appears to me on YouTube that it's still going. So hopefully that's the case, but I don't really know how to fix it if not. So we'll just hope that it's still going. Mojo Rider writes in again and says, what destroys all of us is seeing how great they can play, go toe-to-toe with some of the top teams, and then totally crap the bed against struggling teams. Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. It feels like we've just been saying the same things all season long, but it's because it keeps happening over and over again. They beat so many really strong teams and pretty handily a lot of the time, like I said, and then you come up against a team like the New York Rangers and you get, dog walked 8-1. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Rips Hockey says remaining games left are at Toronto, at Pens, home against Pens, and at Blue Jackets. Have to now win all 4 and pray for multiple other teams to lose. Yep, not good. Yeah, I think you summed it up there. Yeah, this is and like coming into this game against the Rangers, I was like, all right, we beat the Buffalo Sabres. That's a really good team. Now our next 2 are against the crappy New York Rangers and the crappy Toronto Maple Leafs, bottom 2 teams in the East. Awesome. Great. I should have known better. We've watched it all season. But it's like, I mean, pardon me for being optimistic. I just thought that like with this, with the season on the line, with the situation being what it is, I had faith in them to have a much better performance yesterday against the Rangers, especially because like for the last couple of seasons, under Spencer Carberry, his first season, obviously, they had that crazy run at the end of that regular season, with their huge minus goal differential, and they still win all of these 1-goal games, come up clutch at the end of the regular season, win a bunch of games in a row to sneak in as the last wild card into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like that was an amazing run to finish that regular season. They got that done. They got into the Stanley Cup playoffs in Spencer Carberry's first season. Last season, obviously, they had an amazing season, finished first place in the entire Eastern Conference. So they've shown like this group of players and this kind of young core that we're putting together here, along with like the old guard of Alex Ovechkin, Tom Wilson, these guys, John Carlson when he was here, Nick Dowd when he was here. These guys have shown a lot in terms of like when it's a big game and there's a lot on the line, they usually actually do show up. But for some reason, yesterday, it was just, I can't explain it. I honestly cannot explain what happened there.
Tired. I don't know. Asleep. Throwing fucking pucks over the fucking glass. I don't know.
It's those puck over glass penalties, like those are just a mental mistake, right? Like that's a complete brain fart, mental fatigue, maybe. Like they have played obviously a very compressed schedule with the Olympics and everything this year, but that's been the same for every team, right? The Caps have played a lot of back-to-backs compared to some of these other teams, so that probably factors in. But yeah, I mean, like you can cut them maybe a little bit of a break for that, but at the same time, it's like every other team has had this kind of compressed schedule due to the Olympics as well. So outside of like the back-to-backs where the Caps have played more than a lot of teams, the fatigue should be pretty much the same for every team, right? So NDog019 says penalties just sent them off the rails, just stupid and undisciplined. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like we said, the puck over glass penalties were just, it was two of them.
Two in a row.
2 in a row.
What happened to these? I'm like, what is going on here?
2 in a row. They, like I said, they killed off the first one. Great penalty kill there. And then they immediately take another of the exact same penalty, puck over glass, right?
And you can do that with Thompson in net, but you sure as hell can't do that with Lindgren in net. Okay, this isn't Thompson in net. He won't save your skin like you think he's going to. Okay, it's just not going to happen.
I think that they've become so spoiled in a way with Logan Thompson. Yeah. Like it's just like
you can see it when they play defense.
Yeah, they play super loose and it helps them create more offensively when they play like that. But it's just, you can't have that kind of lack of defensive structure when you have your backup goalie in net. And it's you get away with it a lot of the time with Logan Thompson in net because he's incredible. But yeah, with a regular goalie in net, not Superman in Logan Thompson.
Not a cyborg.
Yeah, you can't get away with it. Rips Hockey says, yep, makes me pissed as well that we play great against top teams and struggle against teams that are completely out of the race. Yeah, I think everybody here feels pretty much the same, right? Like it's super frustrating. It's super frustrating because they play so well against all of these top teams, these really great teams. And the thing about that was they pulled us all back in. They made us all believe again. We all started to believe again, right? They were like 10 points out of the playoffs at one point. We were all like, whatever. It's not our year. We've had a lot of injuries. It happens. Sometimes it's just not your year. We were all fine with it. They kept winning games.
Couldn't close a chapter.
They kept winning games. They pulled themselves back into the race. They pulled us all back in, sucked us all back in, I should say. And then, we end up here, heartbroken, right? Mojo Rider says, my God, they get sucked into playing down to these struggling teams. Unreal. Yep. It's just, I mean, what can we say that the fans of the show here and the fans of our Caps haven't already said, right? Like, it's just, we all feel the same. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's there's no explanation for it. That's why you can't really comment on it, right? Because it doesn't make any logical sense.
Like, I'm sure they weren't trying to be that pathetic on the ice, but I just feel like
of course not. Yeah,
it just transpired the way it did, and it just got out of hand. Getting out of hand is an understatement.
And Doggo 19 says they didn't play down, they just didn't play. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it as well. Pretty much didn't even show up for that one.
No.
And Mojo Rider says, yes, for last night, but all season long, they've played down to struggling teams. Ugh. Yeah, I think you guys are both right, if that's possible. Like, I think it's been a thing all season. Like Mojo Rider just said, that they have played down to these struggling teams. But I think Doggo 19 is right as well, that they almost just didn't even play at all last night, which is really pathetic to say. Rips Hockey says, off topic, got to finally see Camp do 10 minutes of cardio against the Devils. I know. I was going to post a short on YouTube. I probably still will post it, actually. I was going to post a short of that hilarious discussion that we had here on the live stream with all of you fine folks, just everybody just popping off about David Kemp. Does he exist? Does he not exist? Is he a real person? Like, I was gonna post a short up of that and just like, all right, he does exist, I guess, but he's not super effective out there. The only time I've noticed him so far is when he took a stupid penalty. So that's not great.
It costed.
Pardon?
It costed.
That one did cost them, yeah. I'm gonna just butcher this handle here. I'm so sorry. Maybe I should just spell it out. ACCIO Biblio says the extremity of the great play combined with the piss poor play is what's so frustrating. I had a bad feeling about the Rags game, specifically because we played so well against Buffalo. Yeah, I think
that's literally what I said at the beginning of this live.
Yeah.
I was just like, nope, not gonna happen.
That comment honestly puts into words perfectly what I was trying to say earlier, which is like, yeah, the extremity of it. Like, it's like they're either so good or they are so bad, and there is no in between. Like, they look like world beaters on a lot of nights. Like, they could beat anybody. You can put them in the playoffs, they can beat anybody if they play like that. And then other nights, it looks like they can't. Not it looks like, they literally cannot beat the Vancouver Canucks. We know that. We went to that game here in Vancouver. So,
couldn't make a pass to save their life.
Yeah, it's super, super frustrating. It's and Doggo 19 says, is it worth debating starting Lindgren versus LT? I get it, but at the same time, yeah, actually, like, we had this debate a lot on Facebook the other night, last night, I should say. It's tough because I was kind of back and forth on it. Like, on the one hand, I was like, Logan Thompson has got to be exhausted at this point. Like, coming into yesterday's game against the Rangers, right? He had started 10 straight games. He had started 15 of the last 16 games for the Caps. And they're not easy starts, right? Like, he is just getting shelled every night with the way that this defense has been playing in front of him. So they're not easy starts. He's stopping like 40 shots on a lot of nights, right? So he must be exhausted. He also, of course, went to the Olympics, right? He had to travel over there, overseas, to go to the Olympics, practiced, played over there as well. So he didn't get that like 3-week break that a lot of goaltenders around the league got during the middle of the regular season. So that factors in as well. So like, I was kind of like, Logan Thompson's got to be exhausted, and it's a back-to-back. And Charlie Lindgren has, a lot of times played very well against the New York Rangers because he doesn't like them because of what they did to his brother, Ryan. But at the same time, that's kind of like, the angel or the devil, whatever you want to call it, on this shoulder. And then on the other side is like, but Lindgren sucked all season and we need to win this game. So
I'm more important, man. Listen to me.
It's kind of like, like, I was kind of like back and forth because I'm like, LT has got to be exhausted. You don't want him to get injured because he's playing exhausted, right? But at the same time, though, I am sure that he would tell you that he can play every game and he wants to play every game. He wants to get into the playoffs, obviously, right? There was no one I felt worse for last night than the guy who did not play, and that was Logan Thompson, because he has just busted his ass to drag this team kicking. Yeah, to drag this team kicking and screaming back into a position where were close to getting a playoff spot. He has played out of his mind. He started so many games in a row. Like I said, he's got to be completely exhausted. He has just done so much for this team. There was no one I felt worse for last night than Logan Thompson sitting on the bench, watching his dreams of making the Stanley Cup playoffs again be flushed down the toilet while his team just plays like absolute crap. So they play
like that in front of Lindgren all the time, and they don't play like that in front of Thompson. I mean, they do play like shit in front of Thompson. Keep the defense in mind, but
they do.
Yeah. Like there is a lack of shit play that comes like together when they're playing Lindgren in net. I don't know. It's literally like a mix of confidence or an attitude like, oh well, our goaltender and I don't know if they think this, but in the back of their minds, you're like, oh well, man, like this is going to be such an exhausting game. We need to at least score 3-4 goals, or we're going to win. It's like back in the day when Kemper would let fucking everything into the goddamn net, and you're like, well, you at least need to score 5-6 goals if you want to win this game. So it's kind of like, I feel like maybe they already have that preemptive attitude going into the game. They're like, oh man, and like I said, I don't know. That's what they're thinking. But you can feel there's a different sort of confidence level in their heads, or at least the way they exude themselves on the ice when Lindgren's in net and Thompson's in net. So that's kind of what I think.
Yeah, because I feel like, and it's not even I feel like we know this because every single guy on the team to a man has talked about it. Like they love Charlie Lindgren. They love Logan Thompson as well, but they love Charlie Lindgren. They would do anything for the guy. So I don't think there's obviously nothing in the locker room that makes them feel that way.
No. I just play wise.
Yeah, I do think you're right in that there is a lack of confidence on the ice this season when he is in net, and probably last season as well, if we're being honest. I think that it's not intentional. It's not like they want to leave him out to dry, but I just think that you can see it, right? They lack confidence when he's in the net versus when Logan Thompson's in the net. I think that they play shitty defensively in front of both of them.
No, 100%. But I do think many pucks shouldn't be going into the zone, period.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that they play shitty defensively in front of both of them. I don't think that they can seem to help that, no matter who's in net. But I do think that they tend to score a lot more goals for themselves when Logan Thompson is in net, because they have a lot more confidence to take chances offensively, because they know that the guy standing in the crease behind them is going to stop almost everything. So I think that that's the big difference. They score a lot more with LT in net because they take a lot more chances offensively, because they know that he's got their back. And yeah, I mean, this is a great comment, because from NDog019, because literally I was back and forth so many times on this. I was like, Logan's got to be exhausted. You don't want him to get injured. At the same time, I'm sure that he would tell you that he can play and that he wants to play. And that was a must-win game. They're all must-win games right now, and there's only 4 or 5 games left in the regular season at that point. You need those 2 points. Every game is a must-win game.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people felt like it was a big coaching blunder last night to start Charlie Lindgren in that game, even though it was a back-to-back. I don't know where this thing comes from, too, that goalies can't play back-to-backs all of a sudden. I don't know where that comes from. That never used to be a thing in the NHL. Now they're no team wants to play their goaltender back-to-back anymore. I'm a goaltender. You can play back-to-back. It's not a big deal. I know that NHL is different, obviously, than whatever level of hockey the rest of us are playing. I get it that's different, and that it's, a professional atmosphere, and the hockey is obviously much better and all that. I get that. But hockey is hockey. Goaltending is goaltending. I'm doing the splits and, sliding around the same way that Logan Thompson is. You can play back to back. It's not a big deal. He's in his 20s. He's not 37, 38 years old. He's not Sergei Bobrovsky. He can play back to back. So I know a lot of people felt like that was a big coaching blunder yesterday, was starting Charlie Lindgren in that game, even though it was a back to back, even though LT had played so many games in a row. Just the fact that you only have 4 or 5 games left in your regular season, and you needed those 2 points, and combine that with the fact that it would be a completely different story if Charlie Lindgren had been any good at all this season.
Yeah. It's like throwing him cold into the fucking dogs. Hey man.
And he hasn't been good all year. He hasn't been good all this season.
He had one game that he was phenomenal, and that's it.
The last time that we played Buffalo. Before this time that we beat Buffalo 6-2 with LT in net, the time before that, when we played Buffalo, it was a 2-1 win with Charlie Lindgren in net, and he was phenomenal.
Okay.
But that was pretty much like the only recent
no, there's only one
performance
game that I can think of his performance this year.
Yeah, that was pretty much the only recent good performance by him. The rest have been pretty garbage, honestly. Like I saw a stat today, it was like he's only had a save percentage over 900 in 2 of his last 10 starts.
Wow.
So like that's awful. That's not NHL level goaltending. You can't win with that. Like it's just so I love Charlie Lindgren, love him. I'm not trying to shit on the guy, honestly. He was put in a tough spot yesterday, for sure.
Yeah.
He hadn't played in a very long time. It's a back-to-back, a bit of a trap game for the Caps, right? But it shouldn't be a trap game because he needed the 2 points. But anyways, I digress. So yeah, he was put in a tough spot yesterday, for sure. But at the same time, like, I get that people are like, oh, what did you expect from Charlie Lindgren? Like, you haven't let the guy play in like a month, right? But it's like, okay, I get that. But at the same time, when would you have suggested that they start him over the last month when they needed to win pretty much every game? Like they needed those points. They needed to win those games. And he hasn't shown, Charlie Lindgren, he hasn't shown all season that he can win those games. He just hasn't. He hasn't played well all season. He didn't play well last season either. He was fan-fucking-tastic in Carberry's first season, right? When Darcy Kemper was garbage. Darcy Kemper was a tire fire. Darcy Kemper was supposed to be the starter. He couldn't save a beach ball. Charlie Lindgren comes in, plays fantastic, gets us into the playoffs. We squeak in to the Stanley Cup playoffs as the last wild card. That was all Charlie Lindgren. He was unbelievable that season. So that's a feather in his cap for sure, right? Like he has had a season here where he was a very important player for us, and we all love him for it. I love the guy. I think he's great in the locker room. He's a fantastic teammate. He's an unbelievable guy off the ice. Everybody knows. They just gave him the Caps Care Community Award just the other day. Like he does so much for the community off the ice. He's a great guy, great teammate. I get all of that. I love the guy. But on the ice, the on-ice product has not been good for him this season or last season. 2 seasons in a row now, right?
He's also getting older. Like he's not a young goalie anymore, too.
Yeah, he's getting older. And so it's just like, so that's kind of my pushback on those people who are like, oh, well, what did you expect from Charlie Lindgren? You didn't let him play in a month. It's like, but when would you have played him? When would you have played him? You needed all of those points in the standings, and you couldn't trust him this season to get the win. So like there wasn't really an opportunity outside of a back-to-back where you have to play him, or where coaching staffs around the NHL apparently think that you have to play your backup goaltender in the second half of back-to-back. There wasn't really an opportunity other than that to get him in there, right? Like the schedule was lined up so that they played a bunch of back-to-backs, earlier in the season. They had a run of games here where they didn't have back-to-backs, right? So Logan Thompson could feasibly start every game.
Mm-hmm.
And so they, like, of course they're going to go with that because Logan Thompson is Logan Thompson. He's insane. He's a top 3.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're back.
Was I gone again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, do you have any thoughts on that other than what I've said?
No, you hit the nail on that one pretty much.
Yeah, it's just, it's tough because I can see both sides of it. Like I can see.
I mean, they had chances to bring up Clay Stevenson.
Well, that's a whole other conversation, right? Like I think that going into next season, for sure, I think that there needs to be something happening with Charlie Lindgren here over the offseason, for sure. I've talked about that here recently, actually, on the podcast as well. But I've talked off air with you about it. Like, I think that we're at a point with Charlie Lindgren now where, and like you said, he's getting older too. So not only his play is declining, but like you kind of feel like he's probably not going to get back to where he was because he is starting to age a little bit, right? I think that they've got to trade him. Like Clay Stevenson has got to go on waivers again next, like this upcoming training camp if he's not on the team. So you don't want to lose that guy for free on waivers. And Clay Stevenson, when he was brought up for a few games this year, he played very well, and he got actually some important points in the standings for the Caps by playing very well. So I think that Clay Stevenson did, that he's ready for a real opportunity at the NHL level as a backup to Logan Thompson. And I think that you can't build your team just based on the locker room, right? Like, I get it. Everybody loves the guy. Like, he's everybody's favorite guy off the ice in the locker room, right? I get that. But you're not going to have success building your team just based on that. Like, this season, I just feel like he's cost them so many points in the standings with his subpar play that it's not feasible to go into next season like that when you have Clay Stevenson sitting in the minors, or when you have Clay Stevenson that needs to go on waivers and who you're going to lose if you have to put him on waivers. So I don't know. It's tough because, like I said, I love Charlie Lindgren, but it's we're kind of at the point here now where I think that they've got to do something there. Now, do I think that he's got a lot of value left in a trade? No, I don't. I think that the time to trade him was, it's past already, in terms of getting a maximum value in a return for him. I think that they could have gotten a boatload for him, at least in term, at least relative, to being a backup goaltender in this league. I think that they could have gotten a boatload for him if they had traded him previously, when he was not only playing a little bit better, or when he didn't have quite this sample size of going on 2 full seasons now of subpar play. When you could kind of say oh, it's just 1 season, maybe it's just an anomaly and he'll bounce back next season. Now it's 2 seasons in a row where he's not been very good.
Oh, look, it's the GM striking again.
Yeah, I think the time to trade him was, a while back when you could have gotten a lot for him, and especially with the fact that so many teams around this league have been so desperate for goaltending. Yeah, I think you could have gotten a lot for him. Now I don't think you'll get very much, but I still think that it's a move that you should make. Just take whatever you can get back, 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, whatever it may be, because you need to clear that. You need to clear that spot, in my opinion, for Clay Stevenson, and you need to get some better. You need to get a better level out of your backup goaltender for next season, because you can't be in a situation where you're having to start Logan Thompson every single game because he's the only guy who can get you 2 points, right? So
we got some other comments floating in too. Ever since that one.
Let me just you want to just talk for a minute here? I'm just going to check the YouTube just to make sure that reconnected. I don't know why it keeps doing that, but
these upcoming games are kind of do I want to watch? Do I not want to watch? I mean, I obviously am going to watch.
Of course you want to watch, because we don't know if it's we don't know if these are Alex Ovechkin's last 4 games or not.
I know. I can't believe that's a thing that's
awful to think about.
You always think, oh, there's always eventually they're going to retire, but you never realize when it's now it's the time. It's you don't take it in until it's actually going to happen. And we don't know. Again, it's undetermined. We have no idea. I think you keep saying, or you keep thinking that he's not going to, but then other people are like, I don't know, I think he's kind of done. But I mean, who scores 30 goals and calls it quits?
I think when I'm saying that I don't think he's going to, that is a little bit of me just hoping and wishing, but we'll see. Speak it into existence. I'm going to get back to some of these. Looks like we are still up on YouTube, so we should be good. So let me just get back to some of these comments here. I wish I could know how to say this handle. You got any ideas on that one or no?
What is
Should I just spell it out?
Can
you give us a nickname for you in the chat? Yeah. ACCIO Biblio. Yeah. Says, it's like they don't understand how to deal with the adrenaline crash after a big win. Yeah. And even with the bad feeling I had, I'd never have guessed it would go this bad. Yeah. It's
no, I thought it was 3-1, 4-1, but 8-1.
That's actually an interesting point. It does kind of seem like they tend to have almost an emotional letdown after a huge victory, like they got against the Buffalo Sabres. And then I don't know. I mean, it's like it's a natural human kind of response to that. Like you have this like adrenaline high and then you crash down, but it's still super frustrating, especially given the circumstance. Mojo Rider says, yeah, that quick goal by Sheary to start the game was a hard,
no shit.
Things to come,
rebound. The puck just goes to him and like, just like, oh yeah, it's going to be one of those games.
23 seconds in or whatever it was. That's never a good omen.
So bad.
And Doggo 19 says GM is banking on Hershey to get the job done, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, I think they have a lot of high end prospects right now, and we're seeing some of them with the team already, like Cole Hudson, like Ryan Leonard, right? And obviously Ilya Protas just finally called up here. Andrew Crystal's another good one. So I think they have like some really high end kind of prospects already, but like they need more, right? Like you can't just bank on that. Not if you want to contend anytime soon. Like these are kids, right? Like they're like 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, you need some veteran players that are like not going to retire. you
need to add something at the NHL level.
Yeah,
I guess was kind of what I was getting at in my little rant there, directed at Chris Patrick. But Mojo Rider says GM C. Patrick better get going because rivals like the Pens are getting better and swinging for the fences. Caps are going to be bottom dwellers of the Metro soon if they don't get better with their roster. Yeah, it's funny. Like Toronto could not run Kyle Dubas out of town quick enough, and now with Pittsburgh, he's looking okay. So. What do they say? It's just a Toronto thing.
Like every other coach they fire.
ACCIO Biblio says, missing PLD is absolutely a huge part of why we are where we are now. Anyone who doesn't understand how key he's been for us hasn't been watching.
Yep. Yeah. I mentioned that earlier too. It's just like, you can see the numbers. It's
like, I 100.
And not just the numbers, but you watch the games. Like there's just like, look at the games that we didn't have him in there and look at the games before and after.
Well, he is like a
totally different team.
Since he's come back, like I said, he's leading the team in almost every category offensively, for one thing. But like you said, it's so much more than just the offense. Like he's your shutdown center, your matchup center. Like he's just a massive presence out there defensively as well. They really, 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 really missed him. He's kind of the piece that you plug in and it kind of makes the entire rest of the roster work, right? Like everything just fits properly with him in the lineup. And then when you take him out, it's kind of a train wreck. Let's see here. Oh, I've got a bunch of comments from people coming in saying you are connected. Stream is still going. All good. Still streaming. Thank you, Ndoggo19, ACCIO Biblio, and Rips Hockey. So we know that we were still good there. So I don't know why it keeps like just for a second it'll go out, and then that hasn't happened the first 2 times that we've done this. Mojo Rider says big time PLD getting hurt showed how little depth the Caps had and having to cobble together lineups. Yep.
Yeah. It's like a fucking blender.
I think, like, obviously, the rookie, right? One of the rookies, Justin Sordoff, he did a really admirable job filling in.
Stepping in.
Filling into that spot. And, really, really, really stepped it up in that role when Pierre-Luc Dubois was out. But you can't replace a Pierre-Luc Dubois with a rookie, right? It's a really big hole to fill. But yeah, Justin Sordoff did a great job, I thought. But yeah, I mean, they need PLD to be healthy next season for sure. So I'm glad that he had that surgery, honestly, like to just get it out of the way and take care of it, because that's an injury that can really linger if you're not, taking care to correct it with surgery. So it's probably a good idea that he had the surgery. Let's see. Got a lot of comments here. I love it.
Yeah.
ACCI Biblio says, I feel like Chucky has gotten the short end of games so often. Some of the L's he's taken is getting hung out, getting hung out on the end of back-to-backs, etc. Yeah, I completely agree with that for sure. Like he, as a backup goaltender in the National Hockey League, you have a tough job, right? Like you have a tough role to play, as a lot of the time you are getting kind of the short end of the stick. Like you get
tired team.
Yeah, you always are playing kind of like behind a tired team in front of you, usually on the second half of back-to-backs. Like you get a lot of kind of shit matchups, to be honest, like that, right? Like it is a tough role for sure. I just think that like he's had success in that role in the past, and he hasn't really had success with it the last couple of seasons. So I don't know. To me, I think it's time to time to look at making a change, because like you said, he is getting a little bit older. You know, kind of when you're past 30 in the National Hockey League, that's like, oh my God, you're ancient, right? So it's funny for us to say on here, but yeah, no, it's tough to talk about, honestly, because like I said, I love Charlie Lindgren, but we got another one here. Says also, if you take into account the percentage of games Chucky has played, the goals scored is a lot more even than you'd think. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I love the guy, but it's just like the level of play that they've gotten from him these last 2 years, it just isn't good enough. They haven't been able to pick up enough points in those games that he's been playing. And I think like when you look at the season that he had, like I said, in the first season under Spencer Carberry, yeah, when Darcy Kemper was supposed to be the starter and Chucky came in and took over and completely like shut everybody down and won us a ton of games and got us into the Stanley Cup playoffs as a wild card. Like, he was unbelievable that season. So that's what he's capable of. I don't know where it's gone to. And I don't know if it's coming back because, like you said, of his age. So it's, and I just think because they've got a guy in Hershey who deserves a shot at this point, like he has, you know, he's kind of like bided his time in the minor leagues and he's done a lot of work down there. And like, I think he deserves a real opportunity. I think it's kind of just time to move on. Mojo Rider says, I'd agree. It reminds me of the back-to-back with Grubauer and Holtby, where the team D would hang Holtz out to dry and the next game they'd do better for Gruby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember like... oh
my God, I remember that tandem.
Good tandem. Really good tandem. It's funny, like Grubauer was so good when he was here and then he kind of like, once he left here... Go ahead.
Well, it also depends on like the coaching, right? Like, I feel like, look at the train wreck that is the Toronto Maple Leafs coaching staff for like the goalies. Like, they thought they could fix Samsonov. They just made it worse.
Oh my God. Samsonov is unfixable.
That's what I mean. Like, they took him, they're like, oh no, Caps, didn't do well with Samsonov. We'll do better. And then I'm just like,
yeah, they're like, oh, that was just a Capitals thing. It's not Samsonov's fault. And then he goes to Toronto and it's just like, where even is he now? I don't even know. Like, is he even in the league?
I thought he was dropped to the minors or he went to Russia. I have no idea.
Maybe he went to Russia. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I lost track of him. I don't believe he's still in the league.
Well, Grubauer ended up being a starter for which team was it? Was it Arizona back in? Or I know he played for Seattle, or is he still with Seattle?
Who, Grubauer?
Or was he with Mammoth? Yeah, Grubauer. Was he with Mammoth?
Seattle.
Oh, okay. He was somebody else's starter when he got traded, but I can't remember. But anyways.
ACCIO Biblio says Carbs would have gotten skewered if he started LT2. Yeah, no kidding. Kind of a no-win situation given how the team played. I think the score would have been closer with LT and net, but we still would have lost. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think it was a no-win situation for the coaching staff because, like, if they had started Logan Thompson and then they had lost with Logan Thompson in net, everybody would have been like, what the fuck are you doing starting Logan Thompson? Like, he just played yesterday. It's a back-to-back. He started 10 straight games. Give him a rest. Like, you know, if you hadn't played a tired goalie, then maybe you could have won. Like, he would have gotten shit from the fans either way. So I completely agree with that. It was a no-win situation. And I also agree with the fact that I do think the score would have been closer, but they probably still would have lost. It's tough to say, though, because I feel like of the first, like, I want to say of the first, like, 4 goals that went in on Chucky, it was at least 2 of them, probably 3 of them that weren't very good goals. Or that were at least savable goals. And I feel like probably would have been saved by Logan Thompson. So it's kind of tough to say because whenever you say like that, like, you know, oh, like, for example, I saw Charlie Lindgren's stats from last night, like the analytics for like goals saved above or below expected. It said Charlie Lindgren yesterday against the Rangers, he was 4.33 goals saved below expected. So essentially the Rangers should have had about 3 or 4 goals, not 8. So he let in a lot of goals that he shouldn't have. So maybe with Logan Thompson, maybe it's only 4 goals, although it's Logan Thompson. So maybe it's more like 2 or 3 goals.
Logan Thompson's allowed some goals, but then again, some of them were defensive breakdowns. So I mean,
yeah, for sure. But I also feel like whenever fans are kind of like, oh, okay, so like if Logan Thompson would have only let in 4, then we still would have lost 4-1. But I feel like that's usually not necessarily true, because like the team probably would have scored more than 1 goal if the game didn't get away from them so fast with Charlie Lindgren in net. And then you kind of just feel like, why are we even still trying? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the game is essentially over at that point. So you're not really, doing the work that you would normally do to be trying to score goals, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, it's like the game gets out of hand on a couple of shitty goals, and then you're just kind of like, all right, well,
which typically how it happens here.
Right, let's pack it in, kind of thing, which like they shouldn't do. Obviously, they should not do that. They're professional hockey players. They've come back from
games being down 4, and there's been several teams this year that
and
were
you're
down
hanging
5 goals, and they just you are
hanging your teammate and Charlie Lindgren out to dry at that point by doing that. 100%. Let's see. Mojo Rider says, what about the team D? Is the man coverage not working? Should Carbs and Weller have done more zone type coverage? This is such a tricky thing to talk about, because so the Caps, like, they play this man-on-man system in the defensive zone, right? They don't do zone coverage. They do man-on-man, which can either work or be a train wreck. And it seems like it's a train wreck right now. But the thing is, like, it was working for them when Mitch Love was here. And the reason why, obviously, that's a very tough, topic to talk about or even to bring up is because we all know what Mitch Love is, accused of doing, alleged to have done. Like, it seems like he's really not a good guy. I'll just say that. So the Caps, obviously, they fired him, and rightfully so. Sounds like he should have been fired. But I feel like his kind of abrupt departure from this organization is kind of overlooked when we talk about the defense. Like, the defense was really good with him here. And then ever since he's gone and they had to bring in somebody new, it's kind of been a mess. So like Weller, they bring him in, and it was supposed to be interim initially, I think, but now, like, obviously he's been here for the rest of the season. I think that kind of gets overlooked, like how much that can actually screw you up, like mid-season change of an assistant coach like that, when you're talking about like a defensive coach and you're talking about your D zone and like man-on-man coverage, and like the man-on-man coverage can get confusing like in any scenario, because you're just kind of chasing people around all over the ice. Like, you've got your man and that's who you've got. So I feel like that's something that can get pretty messy if like the coach is not 100% like on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's, kind of been a train wreck ever since Mitch Love exited and Weller came on board. So I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and, toot the horn of Mitch Love, because like I said, it seems like the guy's a complete asshole. But I do think that plays into like why the defense has looked so out of sorts this season.
Because we had like a pretty good defensive structure. I mean, it's kind of hard to apply the same defense structure with a different coach, trying to apply the same things, because sometimes it's just not effective with a different coach with the same style. Like, they just don't know how to deploy it well, or or kind of train the guys in that way. So I guess that's probably why it's not, getting into their heads, I guess you could say. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just going through the comments here. Ndoggo19 says, I'll take the close loss, and starting LT would have been at least defensible. Yeah, I mean, especially like given that it was the New York Rangers, like I would rather lose 3-1 or 4-1 than 8-1. But I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter. But it's just, it pains me to lose by that many goals to that team. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's like losing 8-1 to the Penguins. It's just like, God, kill me.
That would be worse. But Ndoggo19 says, Google says the defense contributed to the penalty trouble that undid the game. Liljegren took a minor penalty, and Chychrun's major for fighting left the team shorthanded on the bench. Yeah, what about all these guys that like we haven't seen fighting all of a sudden?
Good old fucking Liljegren.
I kind of love that. Like Jacob Chikrin was fighting, Hendrix Lapierre threw down. Like, what the fuck was that? That was crazy. I kind of love that though, to be honest, because it's like you're getting your ass kicked. At least stand up for yourselves, like at least physically, right?
Unlike the Leafs.
Yeah. You just love to hate on Toronto because you're from there. But I mean, it is true though. Yeah, it was crazy to see Hendrix Lapierre fighting. That's for sure. Okay, so Accio Biblio. Is that right? Accio Biblio is how to pronounce it. Oh, this is Ginny, so that works too. LOL. Okay, so we'll just say Ginny. Let's see. Mojo Writer says, "Oh yeah, penalties stop any momentum the Caps are trying to get. Take your offense off the ice." Yeah, they just took so many stupid penalties. It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
the puck over glass ones just irk me, like, because it's so like you're just mentally not there. Like it's just a brain dead penalty to take. Of course, like once in a while one happens by accident. Like I mean, they're all by accident, but like once in a while one just happens, and it just was a mistake, right? Like it's just like you were trying to get it off the glass and you went too high. But the ones that they took last night, like it was just like they just shot it straight out. So
yeah,
I don't know, just completely brain dead. Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in here. I love this so much, this live streaming thing.
I see some new comments too, like new people on board from last time too. So that's good. Great to see you guys.
Well, we've got Cheryl Forster here. So this is from Robbie's show.
Oh,
so she's always on Robbie's show. So we talk there sometimes. So
welcome.
Almost lost my mic there. So Cheryl says, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm late to the party. I do have many thoughts on yesterday's game." Well, let them fly, Cheryl. I'd love to hear them. I would love to read them out live on air here, as you've always got some really good insight. So Cheryl says, Sammy got shafted. He's back overseas playing for HC Sochi. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I was pretty sure he was not in the league anymore. I just I was being lazy and I didn't really care to. I don't care about him enough to look it up. So I was pretty sure that he was not in this league anymore, nor should he probably be. Yeah, he had a rough go with pretty much every team that he played for in the NHL. Mojo Writer says, "Oh yeah, the man-on-man thing wasn't working last night. Players lost assignments quickly, it seems." Yeah, they were just like chickens running around with their heads cut off last night. It was brutal to watch. Brutal. Let's see. Joe B said it last night. Sorry, this is Cheryl Forster again. Joe B said it last night. Defense has been shoddy of late. Yeah, Hudson has added a much needed spark, but something needs to be tweaked. I really like him paired with Roy. Yeah, me too. I think at least we can take some positives from this season, in that many of the Capitals' best players appear to be their youngest players. So that's
it can breathe a little bit.
Yeah, that's super positive. I think Cole Hudson has looked absolutely incredible. Did you see that move that he made last night? Like just inside.
That was dirty. Actually, every move that it is dirty. Every move that he does is dirty.
Broke he did it again. He poor did guy's ankles.
He did something similar to that in a couple of games ago. I was just like,
broke that poor guy's ankles. Broke his ankles just inside the offensive blue line. It was disgusting. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now I'm confused because, so are we Joni or are we Ginny? Look, we've got some autocorrect issues going on here. Okay, let me know correctly how to say your name, because I don't want to butcher it. People butcher my name all the time, so I'm definitely used to that, but I never like to do it to anyone else. So, yeah, it's great having so many people from Robbie's show in here too. Oh, we've got Blue Liner joining us now as well. That's our good friend Gil. Says Liljegren hasn't played in a while. Not sure how he would have gotten a penalty last night. Yeah, that's another one of Chris Patrick's specialty, right? Acquire the healthy scratch. Acquire the healthy scratch at the trade deadline. It's really helpful. Yeah, Liljegren has not gotten much of a look at all, which, to be honest, I don't really understand. Like, I think he's a decent enough right-handed defenseman. Like, I feel like you could at least be giving him a look, especially given the fact that you're likely not going to be re-signing Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and nor should you be re-signing Trevor Van Riemsdyk, and you had better not re-sign Trevor Van Riemsdyk. Let me just say that.
We all fucking know that that's probably something that he will do. Because
again, TVR, like, I love the guy, but like, it's long past time for him to be not a Washington Capital. So, that's the nicest way that I can say that.
Get the fuck out.
I actually I love him though off the ice. Like, he's such a great guy. He's one of the like biggest like ambassadors for like the LGBTQ stuff, and like he seems like such a great guy off the ice. But yeah, he has lost a step or two or 6 or 7 on the ice.
He can't score a goal to save his life, and I know that's not what he's on the ice for. But like 1 out of like 20 games would be nice.
It'd be nice once in a while. Yeah.
1 out of 30 games.
Give us 3 or 4. Like,
but like, and he's been served like on the plate. Here you go.
Every time that you and I are watching a game together in person, and it's like, it always seems like whenever there's like some fantastic play made inside of the offensive zone, and like the guys are just like buzzing, and like they're like pass, tic-tac-toe, and then the puck goes to TVR, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. Sure enough, it's dead. The offense goes to die with Trevor Van Riemsdyk in the offensive zone.
That's what we were saying with Lapierre. The offense goes to die.
Hey, Lapierre's playing a lot better recently.
I'm saying that in the beginning of the season, it was just like the puck goes to die when Lapierre has.
He's playing a lot better recently. I know. Which is good because he's either gonna be a better player for us going forward, or he's up in his trade value, right? So either way, it's good. So Mojo Rider says Huddy has added lots of nice speed on the breakouts, and of course adds to the that kid has been insane, honestly. Yeah. Like, he looks like a star already. And he's played 10 games? Like, incredible player. I'm so pumped for the young guys that we have, honestly. Like, they've got a lot of really, really good ones, and more coming. Like, we'll get to I wanted to finish up talking about Ilya here before we check out. Cheryl Forster says, my biggest frustration is how Spencer has been using the younger players. Yeah, I think it's tough because most coaches do that. Like, they don't give a lot of ice time right away to the younger guys. And if you look back to the start of from the start of the season to now, like, for example, Ryan Leonard, like, his ice time has steadily increased all throughout the season. So I love to see that. I think it took them way too freaking long to put Ryan Leonard on the power play. Way too long. Yeah. Now he's finally on it, and the power play is much better. Same with, obviously, with Cole Hudson being here, the power play is much better. Cole Hudson played over 20 minutes, like, in one of those games, so that's good to see. But yeah, generally, Cheryl, I do agree with you. Like, I would like to see at this point, like, I mean, we're not making the playoffs probably, right? So, like, these young guys, and including Ilya Protas as well, like, just play them. Give them more ice time.
Well, we were talking about that. Why are you starting Hudson with 40 seconds left of the power play again?
Oh my God.
He should be starting the power play.
That's a Kirk Muller thing, though. That's Kirk Muller. That's Kirk Muller. Kirk Muller had to go yesterday, a year ago, 2 years ago. Get this guy off of my team.
Fucking whiteboard making fucking ghost plays that don't even exist.
I guarantee you it's blank.
Fucking blank. There ain't nothing, no play.
What play are you drawing up, dude? Like, seriously. And like we said, the power play has been much, much better recently. I give zero credit for that to Kirk Muller.
I think it's just Hudson making shit happen out of his ass. Because fucking coach is like,
It's all Cole Hudson, and like, Cole Hudson, from the time that he signed his entry-level deal, he was he had a point on the Capitals' next 5 straight power play goals scored. Like, from the time that he signed his entry-level deal, he was one of the only teenagers ever to do that. Sign his entry-level deal, and then he's in on 5 straight power play goals for his team. So the power play improvement, that's all Cole Hudson, and it's all the other guys as well who are on the ice, the players who Cole Hudson is making passes to, and they're all playing better on the power play as well, because they all have more confidence now that they can score because they've seen some pucks go in. But yeah, it's pretty much all Cole Hudson for that power play improvement. I give 0, 0, 0, less than 0 credit for that to Kirk Muller. The guy's got to go. I don't know if you can tell, I'm not a Kirk Muller fan on this team anymore. But Cheryl Forster says, sometimes I get the feeling he doesn't quite know what to do with them. Yeah, you're talking about the younger players still, I assume? It's I just want to see, like I said, like at this point, like we're not realistically making the playoffs here at this point. Just play the young guys. Just give them like as much ice time as they can handle. And to be frank with you, like the times where the Caps have looked the best has been those games where the younger guys, the youngest guys, get the most ice time. Yeah, so just play them. Let's see. Okay, wait. Let me see if I can nail the handle here. Accio Biblio. Huddy has been a great spark. I'll get it one day. Huddy has been a great spark. Huddy has been a great spark. The atrocious PP has improved by almost 10% since he's been on board. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like I see the power play now. It's just like climbing the rankings. Like it was 32nd in the league, and now it's up to I think like 23rd or something like that. At least that's what it was the other day. I'm not sure currently, but yeah,
we can score our 2 power plays last game, so
it's been incredible the improvement that he has authored on the power play. And that's something to be really excited about going into next season, because like it looks like we're going to have a pretty good power play next season.
If Kirk Muller's job.
If this continues, yeah. No, he's got to go. He has got to go. Like if there is one thing that I need done out of this offseason, there's a lot of things that I need done.
Trevor Muller.
Number 1 is Kirk Muller. Like the day that the season ends, we have to get a tweet coming out from Capitals PR that he has been axed. Gotta be gone. Let's see. Sharp says I was saying hi to Ginny, and autocorrect kept changing it to Ginny. So wait, so now I'm confused.
I think hers is a typo now.
Guys, how do I say it? Please just tell me the correct way.
Jini.
I know autocorrect always gets me too. It always corrects my name to Jenna. Always to Jenna. You would think that my phone would like learn my own name, but Cheryl says, actually 2 healthy scratches. Camp hasn't played much either. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like
what's the point of getting these guys if they're just healthy scratches? Like, what the hell are they doing on the team?
That's what I'm saying. Why waste
something at the trade deadline?
Why number one? Okay, number 1. Why waste those draft picks?
Yeah,
I get it. Like they're not high picks. Like David Kampf was like a 6th round pick or whatever. I get it. Like they're not high picks. It's nothing to get too excited about, but it's still draft capital. Like why are you just throwing them away for nothing?
Because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing in the office. That's why.
Why are you wasting the draft picks? That's number 1. And number 2 is why was that even a thought to even acquire a guy like David Kampf to take a lineup spot and ice time away from a younger player? Why is that a thing? David Kampf is 31 fucking years old. Why is that something that we need to do at the trade deadline? Like, I don't get it. I do not get it.
You know what I do. So I'm not going to get into it.
Cheryl says TVR has to go. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that. I think we've got another TVR comment.
That's what she said 2 years ago. That's what you said.
Yep. Yes, Cheryl agreed. TVR should have been gone 2 years ago. Yeah, I literally said, so that must have been 3 years ago for me, because it was when he signed the deal that he's currently on, like the contract extension that he's currently on right now, which was a 3-year deal. So that was like 3 years ago that I said that I wanted him gone at that point, because he was already slowing down even at that point. And I thought that there was no way at that point that they should or would keep him. And then Capitals PR comes out with it. We've re-signed Trevor Van Riemsdyk to a 3-year contract. And I'm like,
I guess they weren't on the same page as you, Jay.
Like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's just like, it didn't make sense even at that time. He was already starting to show his age and already starting to decline at that point. And we had some younger players who like should have gotten more of a look, like Vinny Iorio. Like, I get it. Like, they're not John Carlson. Okay. But like, they still deserved a look at the NHL level. At least see what you have. But no, we've got to re-sign 30+ Trevor Van Riemsdyk to another 3-year contract extension. Mojo Writer says, is CPAC going to use Liljegren and Camp for trades? Some sort of bundled offer in the offseason. Can't see them being signed. I can't, like, it's a nice idea.
Like,
It's a nice idea. It's a nice thought, but like I can't see them getting anything for those guys. Maybe for Liljegren, just because he's younger, like he's only 26, right? And he's a right shot defenseman. A lot of people want those and need those. So you might be able to get something for Timothy Liljegren, maybe a sign and trade or something like that. But I can't see them getting anything for David Kampf. Like the Timothy Liljegren trade, I can make sense of that one. That trade made sense to me because he's a younger player and they had just traded away John Carlson, right shot defenseman. They wanted to bring another one in. He's 26 years old. That's good. That's fine. The David Kampf one, I cannot wrap my head around. I cannot make sense of it.
Well, again, like I said, you saw my reaction. I'm just like, I'm gonna just walk and just hit myself against the door and just.
Well, especially because David Kampf, like we hate on the Toronto Maple Leafs a lot, right? Living up here in Canada,
and we see the product on the ice. Okay, we've seen Liljegren's product on the ice. We've seen Kampf's product on the ice. Okay, we've seen it all.
David Kampf, at the time that the Caps traded for him, like I came on here on our trade deadline episode and I told you guys, like, this is probably the player who I have made the most fun of in the league over the last like several years because of watching him with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's just a pure fucking cardio machine out there. Like he doesn't do anything. It's just a lot of busy work, a lot of skating around, never scores. Like it just
taking penalties.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that trade. I really can't. Akio Biblia says, yes, he seems like such a great person and always has smart and thoughtful answers for their social media stuff, but I just can't with his play. Yeah, I completely agree there. It's like I said, it's a lot of guys on this Caps team right now who are like, it's kind of like TVR is definitely one of them. Charlie Lindgren's definitely one of them. Like these are guys who I'm like, I love them off the ice. I think they're phenomenal people, but that doesn't help you win games. Right? And you can find some phenomenal people who are better at hockey. Let's do that. Okay. Like you can be both. You can be two things at one time. You can be good off the ice and good on the ice. Mojo Rider says, I think the only reason why TVR is still on the team is because they needed a right-hand D-man in the lineup. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was why they were trading for Timothy Liljegren though. Like I thought they were going to play Liljegren and now they're just not playing him. So I don't know. I thought TVR should have been shipped out at the trade deadline for sure. I thought you could have gotten something for him, given that like a lot of teams were looking for right-handed defensemen and a lot of people like the veteran leadership, intangible on their team for the playoffs. So I thought you could have at least gotten a draft pick for him, and I would have liked to see them clear up that lineup spot so that a younger player could get some ice time. But yeah, they didn't do it. They didn't pull the trigger. They didn't trade him. So here we are. Cheryl Forster says, I'm excited for Baby Pro to be up here. Would not surprise me to see Crystal up soon as well. Yeah, so let's finish off here because we got to get signed off here eventually. But I wanted to finish the episode with the news that so the Washington Capitals have officially called up Ilya Protas. Obviously, he is the younger brother of current Washington Capitals forward Aliaksei Protas. And this is like a really, really, really exciting prospect for the Caps to be calling up here at the end of the regular season. We have all been dying to see this guy in a Caps jersey. He's one of the top scorers in the American Hockey League this season as a 19-year-old. That is nuts. That is crazy to be doing that at just 19 years of age in the American Hockey League. It's a men's league, right? You're playing against big grown-ass men. And he, at 19 years old, has been incredible in that league, which makes sense because he's 6'6" and 225 pounds already. He is a very, very, very big kid. So yeah, this is a really exciting prospect. One of the top prospects for the Washington Capitals. So I think that that's certainly something that we can be excited about, right? With Ilya Protas being called up, we've got Cole Hudson here now. Ryan Leonard looks fucking amazing. Like there's a lot to be really excited about here as a Capitals fan as we wind down the regular season here. Mm-hmm. So I know it's frustrating this season that we're probably not going to be in the Stanley Cup playoffs now. That sucks. That's always going to be frustrating. But I think like big picture, the Caps are pretty well set up here. Yeah, like they've got a lot of really, really, really talented kids coming. Kids who are already here in Ryan Leonard and Cole Hudson, and kids who are about to be here in like an Ilya Protas or an Andrew Crystal, right? Andrew Crystal as well. He's been awesome in the American Hockey League. So Sunny, anything that you wanted to add on Ilya being called up? I know you were
I'm just
really
wondering
excited about that one.
I'm just curious as to where he's going to play him because, like, you already have Protas and Wilson playing with Dubois, and Dubois is a center, but Protas is like Little Pro is the center. So I'm just curious as to know which line he's going to go on. Like, is he ballsy enough to put him with Ovi? Is he ballsy enough to put him on the second and put Dubois on the third, or
a
put
brother
him on
line?
the third? Like, yeah, I just don't know. So I'm curious who he's going to pair him up with.
I mean, that like the line that they put out all the time with Pierre-Luc Dubois centering Tom Wilson and Aliaksei Protas, like that line is so good and works so well because that's like a 700-pound line, right? Like that line weighs like 700 pounds. Like it's incredible. And they just dominate whoever they're playing against. So I think that here's another kid here who fits that mold as well. So you can kind of mix and match. And I think he has got more like raw talent, more skill, more scoring ability than his older brother from what we've seen in Hershey and just from what Aliaksei Protas has said about him as well. He says his younger brother's a lot more skilled than him and will score a lot more goals. So yeah, I think that's really exciting. It's just it's an exciting time to be a Capitals fan, obviously, honestly, with all of these young kids that we've got, coming up and about to be here for the long term. So I know it's frustrating this season. Like it's never fun not to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, but I think that big picture, like we've got a lot to look forward to here. Cheryl says as well, rest Ovi more. He plays better when he has less ice time and keep him off the PP. Yeah, I think he definitely plays better nowadays with less ice time. Like the games where Carberry has kind of kept his minutes down around like 13, 14, 15 minutes. He's been super, super effective in those games. I've pushed back on this.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, the keep him off the PP thing, though, I have pushed back on that a lot with people just because, like, first of all, I do not think that he needs to be playing the full 2 minutes. Absolutely not. Like, I've said that many times. He does not need to, at this point in his career, be playing the full 2 minutes. But I have pushed back on the, like, keep him off of the PP in general argument just because, like, he's still the best shot that you have on the team. He is. Other than maybe Ryan Leonard, who's got a wicked shot as well, maybe Jacob Chychrun from the back end, but those guys are already on the power play. Like you don't have anyone to put over there on that left flank or in front of the net if they would ever use him there, which I think they should, but they do not do it.
But also the passer. He's a good passer.
He is a good passer. He's got 30 plus assists again this season at 40 years old. So he's always been he's always been a very underrated passer. But yeah, to me, like he's still the best shot that you have on the team. He's still the best one shot scorer that you have on the team. He's still 30 plus goals. Like, so I've pushed back on that a lot this season, like, to take him off the power play entirely. And I do see down here, or I'll come back to this comment from Mojo in just a second. I do see down here that Cheryl says, or at least not on the whole PP. So she's saying the same thing that I'm saying, which is that he doesn't need to play the full 2 minutes, right? Mojo says, I had heard that the Calgary Flames fans hated Muller when he was there. Yes, that is true. I lived in Calgary for 4 years while I went to university there, and I have a lot of friends who are Flames fans, and they were not fans of Kirk Muller, to put it lightly. Akio Biblio says you pronounced it correctly. So is that Akio Biblio I'm pronouncing correctly, or Ginny I'm pronouncing correctly? Because like when you only know someone from online, like from Facebook or whatever, and you're not like 100% certain how to say their name. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that I'm getting it correctly. Blue Liner says, start Cole Hudson on PP1. Listen to Sunny, please. See, Sunny, the people love you. The people love you. You're on your show, as you like to call it.
Oh my God, would you get over that? Holy shit. I said it by mistake.
The show is called Jenaya Talks Caps, but the show belongs to Sunny. Yes. Cheryl, Akio Biblio is Ginny Clausen. I think I was trying to say hi, and autocorrect kept changing her name to Joni. Okay, so we are not Joni. Got it. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Mojo Rider says the future is now. Got to see what the young guys have. 100%. Yeah. I think that's what we're all excited about here as we come to the end of the regular season, right? Like just play the young kids. Give us that at least. Like at least let us get excited about what the future looks like with these guys. I think a lot of Caps fans already are very excited for what the future looks like with these guys, with how well Ryan Leonard has played, how awesome he's looked. He's looking like he's going to be an absolute stud. How well Justin Sordiff has played as well as a rookie. Our guy, Justin Sordiff.
My guy, Justin Sordiff.
Obviously, the latest addition, Cole Hudson, just looks incredible. So, yeah, a lot to be excited about for the Washington Capitals and their future. Akio Biblio says the way Big Pro supports Low Pro is so sweet. He's always posting stuff about him on IG, and I love it. Yeah, I know they seem like they're super tight, which is awesome because I have to imagine that would be just like a complete dream come true if you're
playing together,
super tight with your brother like that, and then you get to play together on the same team. I know that they've both said like their biggest dream is to win a Stanley Cup together. So let's hope for that. Obviously, that would be amazing. Akio Biblio says, I agree with Ovi getting some PP time too, just not that whole last time. Yeah, so I think we're pretty much all in agreement that it's fine to have him on the power play, but it does not need to be the entire 2 minutes for sure. Let's see. Akio Biblio says, pronouncing them both correctly. All right.
Success.
And with this one last comment from Cheryl, we will check out here tonight because we've been on here for an hour.
Cheryl.
An hour and 40 minutes we've been on here almost. So we'll say goodnight after. Oh, we got a couple more comments here. So
wait, she said she got a sort of jersey.
Oh yeah, Cheryl Forster says I have a sort of jersey. That is awesome.
You know what's funny? Is awesome. I just as an official Caps fan, I know it's so late, but I just purchased 2 jerseys, which I was meaning to buy. And I was just telling Jenaya the other day, I'm like, oh, it's so like hard because I just want so many jerseys. So at a point in time, I am eventually going to get a sort of jersey and eventually going to get a Tom Wilson jersey. But for now, I did order my own. Because right now, like I didn't have my own jersey, so I was borrowing it. But like now I have my own Backstrom jersey and I have my own jersey.
Because you're a freeloader and you always just grab one of mine and wear one of mine. And they're so big on you because
I'm always wearing the Backstrom jersey. So I figured I should get my own Backstrom jersey and have my own Ovi jersey before they like get sold out and you can't buy them anywhere. So I'm good for those. But I definitely want a Wilson jersey next. And I do want to get a sort of jersey. I want all the jerseys. Okay. I want Leonard. I want Hot. It's just so hard because it's like, oh, which one do you want to get?
It's so funny when you just like would borrow one of my jerseys because like they're so big on you, like you're just swimming in them. Because for those who don't know me in person, I'm like almost 6 feet tall, like I'm 5'11", and you are tiny, like you're 4'11". So like you need a kid's jersey, and so you're just like swimming when you wear one of my. It's like a dress, literally. Akio Biblio says yes, Sordy, yeah, hard eye emojis. A lot of love for Justin Sordiff. Yeah. On this podcast for sure, and on so many Washington Capitals podcasts. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for Justin Sordiff. He's just been awesome this season, his first season with the Caps, especially as a rookie. Like what he's done has been really incredible. Just so good defensively too for such a young player.
And he's so hard on the puck, like just fighting.
He just has
he's a really good puck battle guy.
Oh yeah, he just has an engine that never quits. Like that kid has got a motor on him. He just never stops. Mojo Rider says love Sordiff. Yeah, more Justin Sordiff love. We all love Sordiff. He surprised me with his speed and poise. Add in Lil Pro, Crystal, Lakovic, Bogdan. Let's see what we have. I completely agree with that. Regarding Justin Sordiff too, like I think that was one of the things that like when he not necessarily like right when he first got here, but once he got comfortable here and he was more like once he started being more comfortable on the ice was like his speed and poise with the puck, right? Like you were just like, okay, I didn't know this is what we were getting, like because we never really saw him.
Remember, the beginning of the year, we're like, who the fuck is Justin? So I remember we got to bite our tongue on this one because at the beginning of the year, we're like, what the fuck is this shit? And then we were like, oh, Justin Sordiff.
Mainly you.
Were too. Shut the fuck up, okay? I'm calling you out on your shit.
I took more of a let's wait and see approach, and it usually takes a while to get comfortable with a new team and let's see what he looks like in a couple of months. And you were like, get this guy off my team. He's not doing anything. I'm sick of this. This is who Chris Patrick gets. Where's our top 6 winger? Like, which is still true, by the way. Where is our top 6 winger? But Justin sort of rules. So I think that's something that that's something that
Milano was my guy.
Yeah. So you were just salty. You were just salty about the fact that Sonny Milano was not going to be in the lineup, is what you're saying. You knew that,
like, how I feel about Milano.
You knew that
Justin. Remember, you do all those. Remember, I would point out, I was like, oh, look how many games we won since he put Milano back on the ice, and look how many games we lost every time Milano's not on the ice. Oh.
You knew that Justin sort of coming in that was going to take a lineup spot away from your guy, Sonny Milano. That's what it was.
Maybe that was it.
Which is fine. Like, he's your fave. But yeah, I think like Justin sort of like because we never really saw him with the Florida Panthers because he didn't really get to play with them, right? Like, he barely played any NHL games, or he barely had played any NHL games at the point that the Caps traded for him. So, we hadn't really seen him much. But yeah, that's definitely something that surprised me as well, was just like his speed and his poise with the puck. Like, it's almost like the puck is taped to his stick at times. Like, it's literally like it's Velcroed onto his stick. Like, he just does not lose the puck. So, great poise with the puck. And Lil Pro, Andrew Crystal, Lakovic looks like a really good prospect as well. Bogdan's got he was called up for a couple of games there, but we haven't really had a chance to take a full look at him yet, so it'd be nice to get him called up again here as well. The future looking very, very bright for the Washington Capitals, that's for sure. Cheryl says he's my new favorite. I'm assuming she's talking about Justin sort of still.
But she didn't mention Milano.
Oh, Cheryl also says Milano has looked really good in Hershey. There you go, Sonny. There you go. Your namesake.
He's on the ice.
Your namesake. Although you guys spell it differently. He spells his with an O. But that's good for him, honestly. Like, to go down to Hershey, and I'm happy for him that he's playing well, and I'm also I'm proud of him that he didn't go down there and sulk, right? Like, that he's actually showed up there and he's trying to play well, and that he is playing well. So that's really nice to hear. Akio Biblia says, and he's so nice. I got to meet him at the Meet the Team event and was like, heart eye emoji, heart eye emoji. And then she says jealous. In brackets, sorty. So he I haven't met him. I've only seen him in the the press conferences and whatnot when the reporters are talking to him, but he just seems like a really down to earth, cool guy,
like everybody else in the Caps team.
I'm also so happy that they signed him for multiple years, not just for a 1-year deal, because now he's still locked up for next season, that that ridiculously cheap cap hit. And then he's
re-sign him if he's playing good next year.
Well, yeah, he's still just a restricted free agent even after that. So the Caps are the only team that will be able to negotiate with him.
I mean, I don't know what shit show he's gonna fucking pull. It just makes me nervous. Just biting my fucking nails.
There'll be time for the off-season talk. But okay, I'm gonna read one more comment here, then we're gonna get out of here. Cheryl says, "I'm a season ticket holder for Hershey. Bogdan has looked really good too. He should be up more next year, I think." Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to know. He just got such a brief call up, and then it was right back down again. And I thought he looked pretty good in the few games that he played for the Caps. So I can hear the dog bothering you, so we're gonna sign off here.
Hi.
All right.
Still, he's like, "Hey man, hi guys."
I'm gonna shut my comment box here, and we'll sign off. Well, this has been a really great chat here. Just Sonny, anything that you wanna say here before we sign off?
I'm just gonna assume we're not making the playoffs and just enjoy the rest of the games. That's it. That's what I'm going to take. And if we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. But I just hope that if we don't make the playoffs, that somebody knocks the Penguins out and the Oilers out. That's all I want. No Penguins, no Oilers. Done. I'm satisfied. The Leafs are already eliminated, so I'm good. But yeah.
Yeah, you're a big Oilers hater as well, being up here in Canada. Yeah, I mean, if the Penguins win another cup, I'll have to.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Fucking never hear the end of it. Holy fucking Canada.
I'll never be able to come on here again. I will never be able to come on here again. So hopefully that does not happen. But no, just wanted to say this has been a really great show. It's been so much fun. I love doing the live stream because we get all the live comments and we get to interact with you guys in real time. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. This has been an absolute blast. And yeah, if you haven't already done so, anyone who's listening to this either live or after the fact, if you haven't already done so, I got the ticker going at the bottom there, just reminding you to click on that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. The YouTube channel has been growing a lot this season, which has been really, really great to see. And of course, in a year where the YouTube channel is growing a lot, of course, that ends up being a year where we are not going to make the Stanley Cup playoffs, because that would probably get us plenty more subscribers, but that's not going to happen. So tough luck there. But it's been a really, really awesome ride this season. And we just love having all of you guys here. So thank you all so much again for tuning in today. And thank you all so much for being here throughout this stream and leaving us your great comments. So much great insight from Caps fans as always. We love having you guys here. So until next time, babes, like Sunny said, let's just enjoy these last, 4 games of the season. Let's not stress too much. And I do think that there is probably, reason to want to enjoy these last 4 games of the season, as we do not yet know what the future holds for the longtime captain of the Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin. So yeah, let's just take in these last 4 games, soak them in. Be grateful. Don't take them for granted, regardless of playoff position. And until next time, babes. And as always, let's go, Caps.